Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Yura and we are back in Rush Duel Links, admittedly a little late. I'm a little behind on deck profiles for the new box that just came out, and it's not for want of me trying. I've just been really busy on my end, but I am kind of in love with this deck build box. I know the previous deck build box, I had said that I wanted to do a video on why I think as a set it just does not function, and I probably still will. This set does not have that issue. I think both major decks that came out of this box are really, really interesting and very fun to play with. Even though we didn't get a whole lot for them, I think they're just kind of a blast to play. Both Monarch and Vocalized Phoenix are really, really sick, and I am so excited to be talking about them. Specifically, we are going to start with the deck that I personally have found more success on, because my Monarch build is, in my opinion, incorrect and I have to rebuild it, so we'll get there when we get there. But first, I want to talk about the new maximum deck that we have access to, which is a Vocalize Phoenix, Manabu or Maddox's maximum from Go Rush. This card is phenomenal. It is so unbelievably good, even in the really basic format that we have it in. So Vocalize Phoenix is kind of weird among the Pyro cards. It is both a Pyro monster alongside Thunder and Aqua, and the middle piece only cares about Fire or Pyros. However, the left and right pieces specifically care about Fire Aquas for the right piece and Fire Thunders for the left piece. We only have one target for each of these in the game right now, or two technically counting the pieces, that being Thunder Gazelle, which is currently on the limit 3 list, and a Diane Keto monster for the Aqua target, which I'm going to be honest with y'all, I do not want to play that. I just do not feel like doing that. So instead, I have taken a much more defensive approach to building this deck. We are on 7 normal summonable monsters, and the rest of them are maximum pieces, and we are using these maximum pieces as a method to dig through our deck to find trap cards that will ideally keep us alive. A lot of this kind of comes down to not a lot of decks in the format right now have super easy access to back row removal, and the decks that do honestly would rather just opt to play extension cards rather than the actual back row removal itself. I think the biggest cards that you actually have to watch out for are Overrush Storm, and then Seven's Road is on Magical Stream, and Dragons are on Dragon's Inferno sometimes. But for the most part, you can just kind of stick a Shady plus a Recital, or even just a Shady on its own, can end people's turns, and that can get you to your 3rd or 4th turn, which will then likely give you the opportunity to slam down the maximum monster. And once this thing hits the board, it is really, really powerful. So as with all my Rush Duel Links deck profiles, we're going to go top to bottom. We're going to talk about the skill, go through the card by card, and while we do, I'm going to give a general breakdown on how the deck is meant to work together. No extra deck here because they haven't given us the Pyro fusions yet. I don't know why. Timeline doesn't make sense, but sure, why not? You can fill this extra deck with anything if you really want to. I don't really see a need to. But we're going to talk about the skill first, Vocalize First Draw. For a requirement of having only Pyro, Aqua, and Thunder type fire monsters in our deck, we can send 2 cards from our hand to the graveyard, including a level 10, and the top card of our deck to the graveyard in order to draw 2 cards. But if it is turn 2 onward, instead of drawing cards, you can instead add up to 2 level 10 monsters from your graveyard to your hand. You can use this every single turn of the duel, which is fantastic. It's a really simple skill, but it's really, really powerful. It is maybe, in my opinion, it is actually the best maximum skill that we have in the game right now. I know some people like the Yggdrago one. I like Yggdrago, but none of the skills actively do the kind of consistency ceiling pushes that this skill does for Vocalize Phoenix. And as someone who really likes this deck, I appreciate that very, very much. Speaking of Vocalize Phoenix, let's talk about the big chicken itself. The middle piece has the maximum summon effect, and additionally, for a requirement of it being in maximum mode, it is the only piece that does not have a non-maximum mode effect. You can send a fire attribute or pyro type monster from your hand to the graveyard in order to burn for 1,000. Also, this turn, this card cannot be destroyed by opponent's trap card effects, and it inflicts piercing. Really, really powerful effect that can be activated using literally any monster in the deck because they are all either fire or pyros. The left and right pieces, though, is where this card really gets scary. So the left piece is the Thunder version, and you can shuffle a fire attribute Thunder type monster from your graveyard into the deck in order to destroy a face-up level 9 or lower monster on your opponent's field. Then, if this card is in maximum mode, you can also destroy an additional monster on your opponent's field. Really phenomenal removal effect. Unbelievable. The only thing it can't really beat is other maximums, and eventually we'll get some other higher level cards that don't really play nicely with that. I think it also, like, yeah, it can't beat Five-Headed Dragon, funnily enough. So, it's fine. I also, yeah, it can't beat Vritra Star as well. So, there are things in the game currently that you cannot pop other than just the other maximums. But it is still a phenomenal removal effect. Notably, if your opponent does have an additional monster on their field, like alongside those other monsters, anything that isn't a maximum, basically, you can pop those higher level monsters. So say they have like Five-Headed Dragon plus like another boss monster. If you pop the other boss monster, you could then pop the Five-Headed. Really, really phenomenal removal effect. And the right piece is the exact same thing, but it cares about aquas instead, and it also targets back rows. Just like really phenomenal boss. I keep saying it. It is just an incredible boss monster. Really, really fun to play around. The pieces on their own, other than the middle piece, do really interesting things on their own. And the only downside is we are missing other Fire Aqua and Fire Thunders to really get this deck rolling. I think once we get those, like the Chemi Pets would be really sick. They should take Thunder Gazelle off the freaking ban list so we can play that card. There are a number of cards that we could get anytime soon that would rocket this deck even further up into like playability. I think it would not be surprising to see this deck topping tournaments. It is really, really sick. As for the other monsters, we're on the double Embers. Ember the Hyper Assistant can cheat out the middle piece of Vocalized Phoenix and make it like actually kind of big with the 800 attack boost. It's like a 3,200 point attacker, which is really not nothing for fairly cheap. And then we're also on the one Flame Ruler because it just has good stats. Instead of these two cards, you could play like, and also people have been playing the burn cards because they generally have better stats in both attack and defense. But I am playing a version of this deck where we are on a lot of defensive trap cards, so I'm not too worried about our cards getting swapped to attack position and then dying, because more often than not, you're going to have a back row to kind of defend yourself. Onto the spell cards, most of these are just draw spells. We got the Pot of Greed, we got Heavenly Gift, which is the maximum draw card where you can ditch any number of monsters from your hand to the graveyard. If the total level of monsters that you send to the graveyard by this effect is 10 or higher, you can draw 2 cards. This basically just means you can use Heavenly Gift to pitch a maximum piece, any one of these, and then you can draw 2 cards. So it just replaces the cards in your hand. We also have Vocalized Compound, which is a very funny card. It is also a draw 2, but you specifically have to have a face-up fire attribute monster on your field. Then shuffle a Pyro, Aqua, or Thunder monster from your graveyard into the deck in order to draw a card. Then if you have a monster in maximum mode or a face-up equip spell on your field, you can also draw an additional card. We do actually have a target for both of these effects, being the maximum itself and also Chemicalized Structure Force from the ranked duel tickets. This card is ridiculous. It is so good. That said, I don't know if you need more than one of it. So we're on Structure Force as both a means of protecting our monster from destruction by card effects, but also it just gets really big. Specifically, Structure Force reads, you can equip this card to one face-up Pyro, Aqua, or Thunder type monster on your field. The maximum counts for that. Then the equipped monster gains attack equal to the number of different types face up on the field. Notably, the maximum will only count as 1 while it's face up, times 300. And if the equipped monster is a maximum monster, it also cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Fantastic backup plan to keep the Vocalized Phoenix around and on the field. Just a really good card. Onto the traps. This is kind of just like a lot of the same traps you've been seeing for a while. Trap Hole is our best non-limit 1 trap. I think except for exactly, you could maybe play Widespread, but I don't really see the need. Triple Shiny Shady, because it's the best trap card in the format, arguably. 1 Heavenly Bliss. You could honestly swap this out for Music Princess's Recital or go 2 Bliss, 1 Princess. I think that's fine. Heavenly Bliss is a maximum support trap card that's actually been in the game for quite a while. It just hasn't seen a lot of play, but it specifically reads when a monster on your field is destroyed by opponent's attack or their card effect while you have no monsters on your field, you can change a face-up monster on your opponent's field to face-down defense position, and if the original level of the destroyed monster was 10, you can destroy a face-down card on your opponent's field. So this functionally lets you, if your maximum dies, to book something and then pop the thing you booked. It's really, really nice for just making sure you don't die if your maximum gets run over when it eventually gets run over. And then we're on 2 Music Princess's Recital because despite taking up the entire board, a maximum monster only counts as a single monster. I can kind of see why this is not in a lot of lists. It is very specific. You have to be attacked by a level 8 or lower monster while you only have a monster on your field, so you can't defend against other maximums. And that is maybe an argument to cut down on Music Princesses in favor of Heavenly Bliss. That said, I have actually been using Princess's Recital more as a way of just staving off incoming damage while I'm waiting to get my Vocalized Phoenix online by protecting like an Ember or a Flame Ruler that's just kind of sitting around on the board. But all that said, this is a very simple deck and there isn't really too much to talk about here in terms of game plan. You set your hand, you pray to God you don't die, and then you draw 5 new ones. And if you find the maximum, congratulations, you did it. You made the big guy. So with all that said, let's see it in action. All right, into Eemy Me. Oh God. So Bubble Actress has been running rampant on Rush Duel Ladder for anyone that has been playing. It is literally everywhere, and it's one of the main reasons why I have not been really playing Monarch, because Monarch has this fun little quirk where its field spell boosts the Bubble Actresses too, because they just happen to have 1,000 defense. So, you know, that's funny. Thankfully, Vocalized Phoenix doesn't really run into that problem. Vocalized Phoenix just kind of plays on its own axis, and that is a really interesting hand from our opponent. And that's a really interesting hand from us. We're going to go Heavenly Gift here. We're going to send this piece and draw 2 fresh ones. That doesn't look great. So let's Heavenly Gift again. The ideal with this deck is you want to find 2 maximum pieces in hand in order to really get your engine online, because that lets you skill away a piece and then add back 2. Hello, Pot of Greed. Draw, draw, draw. This is fine. We shouldn't die here under any circumstances, really. So I think it is fine to just go like this, and then we will simply find another maximum piece, and then we have our maximum online. That's why I really, really like all the draw power this deck has, because we turboed through almost half of our deck in that single turn. And we now have some really solid defensive options here, even though their opponent is likely going to find hydration. I forgot to mention in the deck profile that Bubble Actress does actually play its removal spell. Oh, hi, Abyss Soldier. That's kind of scary. Thankfully, I'm actually not too worried because we have double Recital. The most likely thing they're going to do here is bounce the back row with Abyss Soldier. Cornful Charity. This is also a deck that has a lot of draw power. Thankfully, though, this deck has kind of a weird time beating Phoenix once it hits the board if it is suitably backed up by back row. And we're off to a really solid start here. So they're going to go Rainopolis, boost their guys up a little bit more. We know they have a boss monster. I think that's not the one they showed. Yeah, they do still have Food Prodigy. They're going to use the Dying Cat of the Cure Prodigy to draw and see what they've still got. Here comes Abyss Soldier. They're going to ditch to bounce. I assume it's going to be... Okay, it's a monster. So they are just going to try and swing in, but thankfully these 2 Music Princesses recitals are going to go kind of nuts. It means we shouldn't realistically take any damage here, but we'll see. There's a very real chance I just don't draw a maximum piece here, and then I'm kind of just sad. We're going to go through both of these. I don't want to take any damage. I'm going to force them to go into my back. What am I saying? Force them to go into my monster with their 3,000, so we take 0 damage. And that is a second maximum piece, so we are online. Let's go Vocalize Burst Draw. We're going to send you and you. In order to add back to our hand, you and you. It's Phoenix time! Be born, my chicken! Then we can go vocalize compound here. Returning this left piece to draw 2. We were really looking for back row there, and we found it. So let's go Phoenix effect. We're going to ditch this Ember. And then left effect, we're going to pop these 2 boss monsters by shuffling back the left piece here. Pop you. And pop you. Set the Shiny Shady. And let's swing over that Abyss Soldier. And they're on an empty board. I guess they do have the Rhinopolis. It was actually maybe correct for me to take the 3K last turn just so I could have another defensive tool. And also so they wouldn't be at lower life points than me. For exactly that reason, Cleaning Prodigy. But I think we'll be okay. I can just save the Shady for when they go for the Cleaning Prodigy. Unless they find, like, Hydration, in which case then I'm kind of, you know, dying. I should have taught it off, but oh well. They know it's there. Do they have Hydration is the real question. Because that's the thing that I'm most scared of here. Another Nubia, that's fine. I assume they're going to summon the... Oh, or milling first, okay. I was going to say, I was going to assume they were going to summon the Cleaning Prodigy first to just get even bigger. Oh, okay, I see what they did. I am going to Shady this. Put that face down. Because Cleaning Prodigy is the only one I really fear here. If they have another one, so be it. Then I'm owned. Like, it is what it is. Okay, there's the second one. Yeah, it is what it is. Thankfully, we won't take too much damage here. We'll take 416, so only 2K. And there's a very real chance that we can get the second chicken online, and we can do a whole lot with this. That doesn't do it. Let's try to compound here. We're going to compound, put back, I guess, the middle piece. Nice. Okay, that's exactly what I was hoping for. So now we can ditch you and you to add back. We milled our equip spell, which is kind of unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Other problem here is that we don't actually have piercing online. But it's okay. Also, the Shady's not online. Also, the Thunder's not online. I don't know how, like, the rest of my deck is just maximum pieces. That's kind of wild. If I do this, Cleaning Prodigy is still not online. So I think I do have to out you. Yeah, so Cleaning Prodigy isn't online now because their life points are not lower than mine. So we might be okay. The Shady's not doing me anything. I do think it was incorrect for me to... Okay, well, we're going to die. It was definitely incorrect for me to use both recitals. I should have taken the 3K and then saved a recital to keep my chicken alive. We're learning. We're learning. This is kind of a weird matchup. I do think generally if I'd played this better, I would have been in a much better spot. But it happens. Sometimes you just don't play well. And by you, I mean me. Sometimes I just don't play well. It is what it is. We did get kind of unlucky with the mills, though. Like, 2/3 of our deck are in the graveyard, and none of them are maximum pieces. So, like, if we don't die here, the rest of our deck is just maximum pieces, I'm pretty sure. Which is really weird to think about, given that I have 9 cards left in deck. Yeah, there's the Pot of Greed. I do wonder... So they have a Cleaning Prodigy, which can... I think I just die here, right? Okay, there's a Hydration. 25 over, 12 over. We know they have another boss, so we do just die here, yeah. Oh, and Nubia. Hi, Nubia. They get to get their field spell back. They could just go combat here and I lose. It's okay. Talismanic is really brutal. That is definitely one of the easier ways to out Phoenix. So I'm kind of glad we got to show it off. Even if I had an additional trap card set, I don't think it would have mattered that much. Let's hop into another one. Into Tiger. I feel like I don't see this deck enough. Although it does have a really decent matchup into my deck, I will not lie. Structure Force, not really what I want to see here. Let's go Heavenly Gift. We're going to send the maximum piece. Draw 2. That's not good. That's really not good. We might just die here. Please have mercy on me, Tiger. I mean, I guess they don't have their graveyard set up yet, so like Battle Ballet is not going to do anything. We'll see. We will see. They're going to start off with Trombo, probably one of the best normal summons in the deck. They're going to mill, oh, Pot of Greed and Battle Ballet. That is really unfortunate mills for them. They're going to flip up our Ember the Hyper Assistant. This is kind of one of the reasons why Heavenly Gift is maybe better than the recitals. But I don't know if they have extension past this. So we might be okay. I will take 200 damage. That's fine by me. Yeah, I do not mind. All right, let's find some maximum pieces. Looking for left and middle. That's middle. Can this Pot of Greed get us somewhere? Sure can. All right. Part of me wants to greed with this Heavenly Gift, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to get the chicken online. Send you and the gift to add left and right. And now we're kind of cooking. Let's maximum summon here. Hello, chicken. They have a response. Maybe Shady. Definitely Shady. They might Shady their own monster here, which, you know, I could see that. Okay. We're going to go Vocalize Phoenix. Burn for 1,000. We're going to go Compound. Return you. And we're going to draw 2. Hey, a second Compound. That's pretty good. Let's try that. Return you. Draw 2. This deck just draws so much. Let's go Structure Force here. We're going to get real big. I love this animation. Maximum Equip. I am massive. All right. I think Shady is just better here. And let's swing into something. Nothing. All right, let's swing into nothing. Can you defeat a 4,100 indestructible chicken? My bet's on yes, but we're going to find out. They're going to reveal Digisoon to get Botan. I really do love this deck. I should play it again. Like, I miss it. I've just been playing too many of the new decks. I haven't gone back to Old Faithful. And they're going to scoop. I assume they just did not have a way to out the chicken. But genuinely, even if they had extension past that, I had 2 Shadies. I don't think Music Princess is playing through 2 Shadies. So let's hop into a third one. Into Maddox. Oh, God, it's the mirror. All right, the mirror is weird. It kind of just comes down to, like, who... Whoa, hello, chicken. Hi. How are you doing today? I didn't realize we were just going to do this. All right. I'm game. I'm okay with that. Yep, they're going to send, draw 2, set, and set. And a monster. You got it. Find Ember the Hyper Assistant here. I think I actually am going to go Burst Draw here. I want to try to get some more pieces into Grave if possible. That's unfortunate. Let's get back Thunder. And a Maximum Chicken Blast! No response there, so we're going to go the Chicken Effect. We're going to burn for 1,000 and then go Battle. Hit this guy. Negate attack. If they're on NA over Pot of Greed, so be it. Combustion Crisis. And we're going to hit them for a lot of damage over a Red Riser. It's their move. Why on Combustion Crisis? Two more face-up level 7 monsters. Who's on level 7s right now? They're going to go Heavenly Gift to pitch the chicken, which leads me to believe they don't have all the pieces yet. They've got Thunder and Center Engraved. 2 Centers Engraved, actually. They're going to go Heavenly Gift again. They're going to pitch Thunder again. They're still looking for the Aqua. Do they have it? The weird part about this deck is you can't really beat over your opponent's chicken unless you have an equip spell. And we saw they were on the Red Riser, so we know they have, what's it called? Chemicalizer Red. There it is. There's the red. It's in the graveyard, unless they're on 2. And so they had a water, or Aqua rather. But they have the 3rd centerpiece in hand. Nitro Hound comes down. They're going to burn for 4. Chicken. Is this going to become a burn off, or do they have the Chemicalizer Red? They have the Structure Force. That's way bad for me. Burn for 1,000. Yep. They're going to hit over for 3. And now it's on us to draw some maximum pieces to get back into this. Not quite there. Let's go gift. Send the water. And you. Why did I do that? I don't know. Okay, I need any maximum piece. Put you back. Any maximum piece. That is the maximum piece. All right, let's go. Vocalize, burst, draw. I'm going to send you and you to get back you and you. I fucked up. Oh, I'm stupid as fuck. All right. Let's go one more. The unprecedented fourth duel. I'm leaving that one in. Between you and me, that last duel didn't happen. Or rather, the last turn of that duel didn't happen. All right? Can we keep that between us? Just, you know, real ones to real ones. Just pretend it didn't happen. All right? It's not real. Wow, this hand is weird, especially going second. Into Music Princess again. This actually does scare the hell out of me. I kind of really need, like, a monster. I think the plan, honestly, is, like, to send the Vocalized Phoenix piece and then whatever I draw off the top and just draw two. Nah. I'm just gonna set the field. Go ahead. I like this more. Down comes the Trombo. I'm actually gonna let that go. We're gonna send two. Send one from hand, draw one, and then change my Flame Ruler. That's fine. We got two pretty nice back rows here. Go to the graveyard. Be gone. Go to get out of here. Nuh-uh. Not too Bardiche. Not today. That card's too good. Oh god, that's terrifying. They have exactly 5 engrave. This is bad. This is bad. Unfortunately, I didn't really have a good way to play around this, but we might die here. Floral Orchestra comes down. They're going to send a card from hand to the graveyard to blow up our back row. Yep, goes to 41. Breath comes down. They still have a boss in hand. Digisoon comes down. I think we're dead here. Is that a Botan? Oh, it was a Botan. Straight Pier. Wow, we die. We're dead. All right. Well, that was unfortunate. God, he's huge. All right. Time to take a million bajillion damage here. All right. Well, let's hop back to the deck profile. All right. So we're back with the deck. And honestly, I'm going to be straight with y'all. I'm going to do this real quick. I think Bliss is just generally a better trap card, especially in this current format. That said, my general thoughts on the deck. It's weird. It's really weird. It's really hard to judge a deck that is missing so many of its key components. And it feels like what this deck is doing is like, while this skill is really strong and why I think this deck is really good, there's definitely a luck factor here. And also not, you know, adding back the wrong maximum pieces, but I think the problem with playing the trap focused build here is that going second, there is a side of your deck that you really do not want to see too much of, like we saw in that last game against Music Princess. I do think that this variant of the build is not incorrect, but I don't think it's fully there. And I think genuinely the thing that will get it there is just some more main deck cards that actually do things. Like, I think the second we get to replace the Embers with something that like actively helps our maximum game plan, this deck will skyrocket into like being significantly better. For right now, I think this deck is totally fine. It's really, really fun, especially when it like actually gets the ball rolling. I think there's definitely a use case for maybe upping the amount of structure force, maybe to 2, because whenever you mill it, you kind of lose your ability to deal with the mirror. And it's generally just a really solid card. It doesn't stop you from dying to things like Talismanic, but it does help out a lot of different things. I know the games that I played today didn't exactly showcase this deck super well, but I do want to keep this as it is, not only just so I can look back on it and get better, but also so you as a viewer and as a player of Rush Duel Links can see that this deck does have a lot of its like weird variance in the way that it plays its turns. It's not like a lot of other decks that can like fix their hand by just searching cards out of the deck. This feels a lot more akin to like how the deck might function in Rush OCG. And that's not exactly true, because in Rush OCG, when these cards came out, it had a lot more support for it. But the skill, not just like searching cards directly, feels a lot more in line with the design philosophy of Rush Duel, and I appreciate that. But it does kind of feel weird when your opponent is just searching out key playmakers, especially Aqua. I don't know why the skill for Aqua is the way that it is. That said, though, we played 4 duels this time, so a little bit more than I normally would. I got to get to recording a second deck profile today for Monarch and my good friend Wilhel. All that out of the way, I do want to thank you all so much for watching, even though I lost 3 out of my 4 games that I played today, but sometimes that's what it is, and so that's Rush Duel Links. And you know, every single game I had a blast, so it doesn't matter too much. I'm gonna keep playing this deck on ladder. It's still a bunch of fun. I'm still gonna keep tweaking the deck. Maybe I'll post an updated version of it once I get some more cards, but we'll see. For right now though, I'm gonna jump out and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.